Look out, y'all. Action Knuckles. Yo, Mayweather finna fight Maidana again, and I'm hearing a lot of mixed reviews about that. Um, I personally don't know what to think about it, to be honest. Um, a lot of y'all y'all ain't gonna like this, but I didn't do a, I wasn't doing videos around May. Uh, was I working? Yeah, I think I was in Illinois when Floyd fought Maidana the first time. Um, nah, I wasn't in. Yeah, I was. I was in. I don't even remember. I was either in Illinois or Texas City doing some work. But I thought Floyd lost that fight. I know. Most people say I thought Floyd won 9 rounds or something like that. To me, I call it straight down the line. I have no affiliation or attachment to anybody more than the sport itself. And for what I saw, is I saw somebody being active. I saw somebody whose punch volume was high, and I saw somebody, even though he wasn't landing clean shots on Floyd, he was roughing Floyd up, hitting him everywhere he could. Now, yes, he was dirty, and at the end of the day, it's at the referee's discretion. I'm not going to change my tone on how fights are scored based on who's fighting. I don't give a damn that it's Floyd in the ring. It could be Joe Blow. It's at the referee's discretion. If the referee allows it, it's legal. And based on the fact that Floyd was being more defensive than offensive, you're not going to win rounds based on just sitting there trying to pick the shots off and just protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you got to throw punches. And for the first 6 rounds straight, I didn't see Floyd mounting an offense. And I don't give rounds based on not being hit clean if you're not doing anything offensively. Long gone are the days of Willie Pep. This is not that era. In this era, you got to throw if you're going to score punches. And he wasn't throwing. You're going to watch him fight Floyd's whole career. I have nothing against the guy personally. And I know a lot of guys, for whatever reason, they align themselves with the guy as if they know him. This is not, I'm not saying you got to be a hater or anything like that, but at the end of the day, you got to call it the way it is. I had him losing, and if he didn't lose, it was a draw, but there was no victory on Mayweather's part, in my opinion. And I've seen damn near 50 Floyd fights, and in all those fights, I've never seen him look as vulnerable as he did in the fight with Maidana. Now, granted, when he decided to get off, he was pained like a typical Floyd Mayweather fight. But it took him after the 6th round to really get something going. And I just didn't think he won that fight. You know what I'm saying? And it just is the way it is. I mean, I know some subscribers may not like that, but if you know Ash, that don't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like the video, you just don't watch the damn thing. You know what I'm saying? But it's not going to change how I look at the sport. Now, if Mayweather really thought he dominated this fight, ain't no way in the world he would give a rematch if he thought he won so damn decisively. I don't give a damn what he's saying at the press conference. Okay? Even if he won, it has to be a typical Mayweather win, or he's not going to be satisfied with it. Because I thought he beat Castillo the first time. I didn't see a need for a rematch. You know what I'm saying? And he dominated him in the second fight. But I did think the first fight was close. But I didn't think Castillo won it, and I damn sure didn't think he won the second fight. And this fight with Maidana, the first fight, the moment, or whatever it was billed, I think it was billed as the moment, I did not see a Floyd victory. Call it what you want it, say what you want to say. That's the way I called the fight. Now, in this rematch, Floyd is really, I mean, he's back to his typical Mayweather type self. You know, he's really talking a lot of noise. trying to really sell the fight. It's a pay-per-view. You know, you need a dance partner if you're gonna be a pay-per-view star. And he's really selling the fight. When I look at the press conferences and stuff like that, he talking a lot of noise. Signature when he was first trying to build himself as basically like a heel character. He talking a lot of noise. He like peep my swag. This guy's a bum. He can't beat me. Beat me the hard way. Use the same gloves. And to me, the glove is a non-issue. I gotta be as consistent as I've been throughout my time doing this video thing. And in my time of doing this thing, I've always said the gloves don't matter. If you're a puncher, you can punch with any glove. Saul Canelo Alvarez knocked out Baltimore with winning gloves. Winning gloves is, like I've said hundreds of times before, is that Japanese brand glove. It was created specifically for hand protection. If you can knock somebody out with that glove, you can knock somebody out with any glove because you're a puncher. Same thing for Mike Tyson. Do you really think a glove mattered in terms of him knocking people out? So the gloves don't matter right now, and the gloves didn't matter when Pacquiao lost that first fight to Eric Morales, for which he said Morales wouldn't let them wear Reyes gloves, which is a puncher's glove. So the gloves don't matter. If you're a puncher, your punching power is not going to be diminished that much because you put on a different glove. Some gloves, I agree, are made for hand protection only. But at the end of the day, if you can punch based on your power and putting your shots together. Not necessarily, don't have to be with perfect technique and all that. You're born with power. You can't train for power. You can train for strength. You can train for endurance. You can't train for power. You know what I'm saying? You're either born with the ability to disconnect somebody with a shot or not. Maidana is a puncher. He didn't knock Floyd out because who has knocked Floyd out, or basically who hasn't even knocked him down outside of, Zab Judah, who didn't get credit for that knockdown. So the gloves are a non-issue. Like I said before, it's not the first time that a fighter had to fight without his gloves of choice. I remember Roy Jones used to have guys fight in the same glove that he used, the Grant glove. If you fought Roy Jones, more than likely you wore that glove if you wanted to fight him. And you were happy about it, because fighting Roy Jones as well as fighting a Floyd Mayweather represents a money fight. Most guys don't make the money that they make when fighting a guy like Roy Jones or Floyd Mayweather. So when you're a shot caller, it's not just a bunch of words. It's not just a compound word. You call the shots. And if you don't like the terms of the fight that they're offering you, then you turn it down. You don't take the fight and just start talking about it. Oh, he's making me do this. Well, guess what? Don't fight. You know what it is. When you're a shot caller, you call the shots. And in the fights with Roy Jones, you either took the fight and you used the gloves that he wanted to be used, or you just didn't fight him. Same with Eric Morales when he fought Pacquiao. He wanted them to use winning gloves in the first fight, and he dominated Pacquiao in that fight. Regardless of what gloves were used, he dominated the fight. He won that fight with, well, I ain't gonna say with ease, because Pacquiao had his moments, as Pacquiao has had in every fight he's had, except for the Nadal Hussein fight. Anyway, I don't want to bring that up. That's a whole nother topic that I've already covered years ago. But at the end of the day, the fight is happening. I thought Maidana won the first fight, like I said before. But if you look at the press conferences, Floyd is really selling the fight. He's back to his old self. He's talking a lot of shit. He's talking shit to Robert Garcia, who in his rights is returning the favor. He's talking shit right back to Floyd, telling him you fight like a little bitch. And Floyd is saying, how you gonna have somebody beat me when you couldn't beat a guy who I dominated, and which is true. If you look at the fight with Robert Garcia versus Diego Corrales, rest in peace, true warrior. I've said that hundreds of times. Corrales dominant. Well, I ain't gonna say dominant. That was a great fight, and if you haven't seen the fight with Robert Garcia versus Diego Corrales, YouTube it. It's a great fight to see. I mean, if you're into keeping up with your history, that was a great fight. I saw it right when it happened, as many Diego Corrales fights and Robert Garcia fights, who was a great fighter back when he fought at super featherweight when he was an IBF champion. He was a good fighter. He wasn't a brawler like Maidana. He was a boxer. He used to use the ring. He had fast hands. He used to rip off combination. He was a good fighter. You know, represent that Oxnard like Fernando Vargas did. And Floyd is he's not pulling any punches in this one. He's for a while I thought he was a little bit acting like a little broad because I guess he got tired of being the heel character that he's marketed himself to be when he kicked off his pay-per-view career. He kicked off his pay-per-view career as being a heel character. If you think about it in wrestling terms, and I ain't no wrestling fan, but I need some type of analogy, some type of comparison for you to know what I'm talking about. When you bill yourself as the villain, as the villain, you can't complain because people boo you every time they see you, because that's the Mayweather experience. If you been going to a Mayweather event, you've been accustomed to go to the event to boo Mayweather, but the whole time you would not even go to the event if Mayweather wasn't fighting, and that's the difference. Only in boxing where does that take place. A guy can have a diehard fan that doesn't like him. The fan won't even show up to Vegas to watch the fight if that guy's not fighting. You know what I'm saying? It's a reason why thousands, hundreds of thousands of people show up in that city when he fights. He has the fans that love him and he has the fans that hate him. But as long as they're paying fans, they're your fans. You know what I'm saying? So his business mind is coming back, in my opinion. He's turning up at these press conferences. He's telling y'all, yo, 30,000 for the diamonds in my glasses, and let me stand back and let you peep this swag. Typical Mayweather fashion. That's the shit that people love to hear just so they can hate him more, or they love to hear so they can cheer for him more. That's what made him who he is as far as the business aspect. As far as the fighting aspect, he is who he is based on what he does in that ring. And when he get in that ring, it's Picasso time. So, he's fighting again, and he's giving Maidana a highly warranted rematch. I think it's warranted. I think Maidana earned it. Like I said, I thought he beat Floyd. It's not often you hear anybody say that Floyd lost the fight. You know what I'm saying? He usually just goes in there and just dominates. But I thought he lost. I really thought he lost that fight. I've had damn arguments on the phone about how the hell could I possibly have thought Floyd lost. Yo, it just is what it is, man. He didn't look like the winner in that fight. I would have wanted to, if I could choose who I could have been in that fight. Outside the ring, I would have chosen to be Floyd. Why? Because he's cashing a $40 million check that night. But during the 36 minutes there in the ring, I would have been Maidana. Because Maidana left with less damage than Floyd did. I know Floyd arms and elbows and head and nuts and all that shit was just throbbing his ass. And for a fighter, we see what we see on TV, but if you've been around fighters, the swelling don't happen till later on that night. And I know he was in pain. And if Floyd wasn't the pay-per-view attraction and the big money man that he is, he wouldn't have the personal masseuse at his house massaging the pain away and helping him bear with this stuff, having therapy or whatever. I'm cleaning my pistol, man. And the reason why I'm doing it on camera is because even if I was off camera, I'd be doing the same shit. So I don't hide nothing. It is what it is. What you see is what you get. You don't like it, turn the damn channel. Um, but like I said before, if he didn't have the money to be able to afford that type of stuff, there's no way in the world the person with suits would be at his house massaging away the pain. I think he has a sour taste in his mouth from that first fight. I'm pretty sure he thinking like, how the hell did I allow this bum, his words, not mine, but some of you call Maidana a bum. I don't call him no bum. Styles make fights, and this is professional fighting. Professional fight game consists of a variety of styles. You know, he's just a slugger. Just because a guy can box very beautifully does not mean he's automatically going to win. I know plenty of fighters who had great skills, and when they got in that ring, for whatever reason, it didn't pan out against a slugger. Some guys can handle that pressure, and some can't. It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has their own kryptonite. And for years, most people thought a slugger is Floyd's kryptonite. Well, in this fight, that proved to be true because he didn't look like his typical Floyd self. And in my opinion, like I said before, I thought he lost. I thought he lost that fight. But like I said in the Canelo video, it was close enough, I guess, to where they could give it to either fighter. And you're not going to beat Floyd by eking out a decision. If you beat him, you're gonna have to put hands on him. As long as that fight is taking place in Las Vegas, you're gonna have to put hands on him if you want to be the winner. And there were several rounds with Maidana. Floyd was switching it up so fast on him that he couldn't adapt. That's kind of what I think is gonna happen in the rematch, though. Floyd said he voluntarily stood in front of him to make it appealing for the fans. I don't buy that shit for a minute. I think he I do think he voluntarily stood in front of him, but I don't think he did it for the fans. I thought he would do it because he thought in his mind that ain't no way in the world this rude, crude slugger is gonna make it competitive. I'll see it all coming. I've seen hundreds of guys like him, and I'm gonna beat him to the punch, and I'm gonna make him look bad like a Gotti Mayweather type fight, and it just didn't pan out like that. And he got a sour taste in his mouth about it. So we gonna see. You know, this is the rematch. Floyd's not getting any younger. He's closer to 40 than he is to 21. His words, not mine, but it's the truth. This is a young man's game, and any fighter can win on any night. And that's what you guys have to understand. It don't matter that Floyd is Picasso in the ring. If you're hungry enough and you put in enough work in the gym, and you're like I said, and your stomach rumblings are loud enough, and you got a lot on that you got to get done in your lifetime, and you don't have the money to do it, and here's your opportunity to put hands on this dude who can make it possible for you to get that money. Guess what? The hungry fighter gonna eat. And in that fight with Maidana, that's what it was. He was a hungrier fighter. Floyd been rich. He ain't hungry. So we gonna see just how much hunger he got in this fight. And don't be surprised if Maidana come out the winner of this fight. Am I saying he's gonna win? Hell nah. Who picks against Floyd in the Floyd Mayweather fight? Nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised because guess what? There's been many times where the guy who was the favorite don't win. You know what I'm saying? All it takes is just the right fight, the right timing. And like I said, Floyd's not getting any younger. You know what I'm saying? Maidana is younger than him. He's strong. He's bigger than him. And you know what? He just had a child. You know, Floyd got, three kids or 3 or 4 kids or whatever like that. But guess what? Everybody in their whole camp been eating. You know, Floyd paid people to tweet for him. See, that lets you know right there, money good over there in that camp. And I think Maidana want a piece of that. You know, like anybody who from the hood who hungry, they want a piece of that. They want to get that money too. They trying to get that bread. You know, because with money, like I said, money is the root of all evil, but money makes shit happen. And everybody in this world got bills. I know I got bills. So in the rematch, like I said before, I don't know what's gonna happen. I know Floyd was going through a lot of stuff with Miss Jackson. It's uh, former girlfriend or whatever like that, and she kind of, they broke up or whatever. And I know Floyd was talking about how she aborted their baby, and she sold the Bentley that he bought her. Fool ass, you shouldn't have bought her a goddamn Bentley. Fuck wrong with you, man? He got the MC Hammer syndrome. He just think he can just blow millions, and all he got to do is just show up, and he go get more millions. So far, that's been true. But this ain't the rap game. It's the boxing game. So how long can he continue to live like that, spending money at that pace before going broke? Is he paying his taxes? I sure hope so, because if not, he gonna suffer the Mike Tyson syndrome. But anyway, enough with all that. Never look down the barrel of a gun. I'm off topic or whatever, and I know I'm doing it, but I've never shot this before. I just bought this the other day. I don't even have no ammo for the 44. But just in case y'all are looking at me doing all this other stuff outside the box, I'm drinking and shit too. I have no ammo for this, so there's no way I could shoot myself. Normally, I would never look down the barrel of any gun, but I'm just trying to make sure I'm not wiping all the damn oil, lubricating oil out of this. I want it to look like a mirror up in that piece. You want optimal performance when you go to the range. Um. Anyway, man, let me know what y'all think. Do you think the fight is warranted? Do you think Maidana deserves a rematch? Am I totally out of line for thinking Maidana won? And just get at me. Leave a comment. I'll start replying in a little while. And let me think of some more comments. Some more topics I could think about and do some videos on. Deuce.